All right. This is take number 2 for this goddamn reaction video because the first take ended up being like an hour and a half of me just babbling on and honestly not knowing what the fuck I was talking about until the end. But now I've crystallized the thoughts a bit better, so should be a little smoother. Anyways, let's just fucking get into it.
Hello everyone, long time no see. My name's Mayuka. I did want to actually just provide an update about things because I haven't on this YouTube channel, which is
Same.
like my main place.
I did that in the first
that
take
y'all
too.
find me on the internet. And I'm just gonna come out and say it. I got a software engineering job. I am back as a software engineer full time. I mentioned this on social media like a couple months ago already.
So I think the reason my friend asked me what I thought about this, he didn't ask for a react video, but I just thought I'd make one, because I'm kind of trying to do the opposite. You know, I've been working as a software engineer now for 4 years, which on one hand doesn't sound that long. On the other hand, it's the same amount of time I went to stay at college for, so that's a little scary. I'm gonna die soon probably, but I would really much rather be doing something on my own, like some kind of creative pursuit. That's something I've always really wanted to do. And right now that's kind of YouTube. So yeah, I think that's what he was curious about.
But I'm 3 months into this job. Yeah, I just kind of wanted to talk about it. Because if you've noticed, it's definitely impacted like my posting schedule and how much I post on here. And specifically, there was like a couple of reasons why I wanted to go back. There was like a few things that I really missed about software engineering. The first thing, which I think influenced my decision the most probably, is that I just really missed building stuff with code.
Oh man. So just like fucking so I thought about like why I fucking ruminated on like, do I even like building things with code? Because for a time there definitely was, at least externally it looked like I was having fun building things, and I tried to tell myself I was having fun when I would try to, like, you know, make some kind of website or whatever, right? Or like I'd work on a project with people, and I think I definitely did for a while. But what I realized about myself is that when I do or make something, I put a lot of myself into it, or it's natural for me to express myself through whatever I'm trying to make. And if I don't do that, it kind of feels like I'm killing a part of, not killing a part of myself, but I'm like, I have to really restrain myself to do that. I want to put my personality into things. I want to put myself into whatever I'm doing. So for me, like, playing piano was very natural. I think the reason I enjoyed it so much is because you are constantly expressing yourself, and even more so than something static, like, let's say, like some kind of like drawing or painting, or like I did do like some kind of like art, that kind of art stuff for a while. Not as much my sister, or something like writing or composing music even, is that you are really, whatever you're creating is really only in that moment. And whenever I like would play piano, it really felt like I was really just living in that moment. And that was always a really special feeling. And something like, your job is 8 hours a day, let's say, probably a little bit less if you're working reasonable hours and not. But it's a lot of time. And also after those, let's just say 8 hours, because for a long, when I actually was very, very committed to work, I'd still work pretty hard, but work was kind of my everything for a while. And when it was, I would come home and I would just basically need to pass out. Even these days, when I stop myself hard at like 5 or even like 4, if I start a bit earlier or something, sometimes I just need to go in my bed and I'm just dead. And not being able to express myself in those hours, and also having the remainder hours taken away from me because I'm too tired, that just fucking kills me. Like that, it's just not something I can truly accept as a long-term, like, this is how I live kind of thing. So for me, building things with code is fun if it's for myself. Building things with code as part of a company where I'm doing it as part of just one small part of a bigger vision, for something that ultimately, if I'm being honest, how much is this going to really matter? Obviously, the smaller a company, the more it's going to matter. At a mid-sized company like mine, how much does it matter? It still matters a good bit, but like not that much. And ultimately, it doesn't matter for myself. Like the people that get the benefit of my work are going to be the higher ups in the company, like my manager, stuff like that. And I just don't like that feeling.
After I left my job at Netflix in January of 2020, I was doing this, like creating content full time. And I did that basically for 2.5 years, which was so fun. I got to make so many great videos, really got to see what it was like to own my own business and stuff. But there was just something very special that I missed about building things with code. The other thing that I really missed was working on a team. I have a small team of people that I work with for all of this kind of stuff, but there was something about working in like a product tech software engineering team that I really missed. Collaboration.
So I feel like working in a team is pretty double-edged. Generally speaking, it's not about people not being nice. Let me start this way. So like when I first started working, or just in general, I wanted like my ideal was like, oh, when I work on a team, we're all gonna be friends and it's gonna be great. And I think if working on a team with people who are actually your friends, that is awesome. It's actually freaking sick. But the reality is you can't be friends with everybody. Not everybody wants to be friends with you, especially at least for me, it seems like. And if you go into working on a team with that mindset or working at a company with that mindset, I'm not saying she is. I don't think she is at all. But for me, that was a problem because I'd basically be a people pleaser to some degree. And because I thought, not even a people pleaser, I really wanted to help everybody when they asked for help, or like not just from my own team, but like from other parts of the company. And that's not something that is always reciprocated. And if you're, if you're an idiot like me who gets taken advantage of pretty easily, then working at a company, it's like, it can be rough. I mean, I think it was a growing opportunity for me, and a necessary one. I think my company was a good place to have that opportunity because people are young and honestly pretty nice, and nobody's actually trying to like screw me over. They're just trying to get along with their own day. But yeah, I think working on a team, it's like playing a team game, like playing League of Legends game with 4 other team members. It can, when it works, it's great. When it doesn't, it's a shit show. So generally speaking, that's why the interview process is so strict for software companies, because you get one bad apple, it really does ruin the batch.
Of like many different roles coming together, and just like having coworkers who are invested in the work as much as you are.
Oh, especially also if that bad apple is a manager, then you are fucked, bro. Like, cause it's hard to fire. It is hard to, generally speaking, it's pretty hard to fire people. I think in companies in general. But yeah, that's not related to what you're saying.
Was also something that I missed. The other thing that I really missed was just like not being the solely responsible person for whether a business was successful or not.
So this kind of ties to the team stuff, which is probably one reason I assume she enjoys working in a team, which is like, and it is nice. Like when this, even like pretty recently, like I remember there was a team member on my team I could really rely on. She moved to a different team because they really needed her for a special project, but it would be like, it was cool being like, I would do a part and then she would do it, and she might even do more or better sometimes. And it would just be like, dang, this does feel nice. Like having somebody to like, you can really rely on. Like that is a good feeling, but it's not something I really cared that much about, I'd say.
Like, I'm not gonna lie, I really liked doing like content creation full time, and I still am doing content creation to some extent. I'll get into that later. But not being the like only one responsible for getting stuff done was also something that I really missed. That's the thing about like being your own business person. Like if you don't do it, it doesn't get done. There's no one else who can kind of like fill it in for you unless you grow your business intentionally.
I don't want to be filled in, to be honest. I don't know. I mean, it's the grass is greener on the other side kind of thing, right? But I think it also, I am saying it from a place of privilege where like, I don't need that much income right now. I'm living at home. My parents cook meals like half the time. I don't even have to cook like for myself a lot of the time. The other half of the time I either going out to like Chipotle or something, or maybe I'm just cooking something simple, which you know, when it's so infrequent, it's really not a pain. Even I wouldn't say it's a hobby, but it's not bad at all. So I do think, yeah, like if I moved out, I need to pay my bills, and my next video is if I don't put it out in time, I'm just not gonna be eating, or I gotta save electricity, so no more heat, you know, stuff like that. Like that would probably get to me.
That way, which I wasn't doing. So yeah, I really missed that, and definitely like as a result, the steady paycheck of having a salary was something that I missed as well. So yeah, a number of reasons why I missed software engineering, and a good opportunity happened to come up. I took it. I thought that I would kind of continue making videos alongside this job,
Nice one.
but I haven't been. Like I thought that I would balance YouTube with like working better than I did, because I've done it before. Like before I made the jump to content creation full time, I was doing a full-time software engineering job alongside making videos. But truthfully, I haven't really been making videos because I haven't felt the urge to.
So actually, I went a little deeper in the first take, but like I thought her channel was interesting because when you think about like her channel is very focused on, it's like a combination of, from what I see, I haven't watched a ton of her videos, but it's a combination of like software engineering, like hiring and lifestyle stuff, and also like her own personal introspection. So I feel like a lot of her inspiration had to have come from literally working as a software engineer. Like once she stops working, what is her content going to be? Where's it going to be? What's it going to like be inspired from, or like what's it going to be about? Like if, for instance, like if you go to like an anime YouTuber, like let's say Gigguk, like every season there's like 30 different shows coming out. Like 4 times a year there's 30 shows coming out. Like you have a steady influx, very steady, like continuous flow of stuff to be talking about. If somebody like a mogul male, like a Ludwig, right? He's just talking about the streamer world, like Twitter drama, whatever, like whatever's happening in the creator economy. And that's an unlimited, untapped like reservoir of things to talk about. Like a chess YouTuber, like Daniel Nierzynski, like he plays one game of chess, he gets an hour-long video, him just talking about chess. It's like barely edited. It's, you know, and it's great. And these are all, I love these. You can see I watch literally every fucking video basically. Somebody like, and how to put it. So I feel like it just seems to make sense for her to like go back to her job, because it seems almost like necessary. Like what else is she gonna, I don't know, like she would have to replace it with something else, because I think certain channels do like really original stuff. Like Mr. Beast, his stuff is not commentary based, like his main channel stuff. He just does crazy shit. Like he probably just has to think of like, what is the craziest thing we could possibly do? And how he gets inspiration for that, I have no idea. I know he's like a big team and stuff. Something like a Nile Red is similar, though I don't think his team is as big probably. But like, how do they come up with inspiration? I'm like, it's something probably innate to them. So for Nile Red, he said he grew up just like doing crazy stuff, like making smoke bombs in his garage, using a blowtorch as like an 8-year-old or something crazy, working with uranium as in his videos or whatever. Like everything, it's nuts. And I feel like that kind of creative like reservoir, it's something that like, it's like almost a skill you train, I think. So anyways, I don't know what the fuck I'm saying. Let's just
Haven't wanted to. And something that I noticed was just like the break has been really, really nice. I'm not gonna lie. And I just kind of let this happen very naturally. I wasn't like planning on taking a break or anything per se. I just knew that I wasn't gonna be able to post like weekly videos like I was before. But I realized upon reflection, there's a couple of reasons why this happened. And really it all comes down to like, yes, this work is like so entirely rewarding, but it is really freaking tough, I'm not gonna lie. I feel like this was like my first time being a creative person, even though we're all inherently creative in our own ways and stuff, and it shows up in different ways, but just like really doing something that was completely out of my comfort zone, that was very different, challenged me in a lot of ways. And I think there were a couple of themes here. And the first one for me is that creative work for me is like inherently personal. I do a lot of public introspection on this channel. I talk a lot about my life and what's going on in my mind, but it is a lot of work, and it's really difficult to do this so publicly and so vulnerably.
I feel it pretty hard here, because I know nobody's watching my stuff, but like, I was editing like the first version of this freaking reaction video, and just watching my face and listening to myself talk was like freaking cringe, bro. Like, and it's always cringe. I don't think it stops being cringe. It just probably changes how it's cringe. And I imagine like, if I keep going, like I'm gonna get haters someday or something, right? Like somebody's gonna shit talk me. Like I get mad when people shit talk me on Reddit. Like what's gonna happen when I'm opening up like something super personal? What if I'm like crying or something, and like over some like childhood trauma, which is totally something I would talk about. And somebody's like, that's somebody to like disregard. So like, how am I going to react? I mean, even like not even talking about haters. It's just hard. It's just hard to put yourself out there. I think. And also like when you need to get a video out there, when there's that external like monetary pressure to self-actualize, like I think if you end up like half-assing it, that feels really bad. And if you end up even like doing like fake introspection, I doubt you did this, but like if somehow like you need to push out a video and you couldn't think of something to say, so you say something and it ends up not being how you actually feel, then that can be really frustrating, I think, because maybe people get the wrong idea, or like at worst, maybe you're even lying to yourself and you think you've reflected on something pretty well, and truthfully, but in reality, you didn't, and it was because you had to do it for a video or something to get money so you could eat. Yeah, I mean, that just seems like a slippery slope. But.
Vulnerably, in a vulnerable way. And at a certain point, I realized I was reaching a point where I was just like, I need to chill.
Hey, so this is me in editing. I didn't really have much to say for the rest of the video, and then at the end, I went on this long-ass tangent that didn't really make too much sense, so I just cut it, because, the one thing I was curious about was, like, I wonder why she, like, originally started making YouTube videos, because, I don't know, it's just always interesting why people start, like, what's your story? Maybe she said it in, like, I don't really watch her channel, so it's very possible she said it in an earlier video. About the like being vulnerable stuff, it is like watching myself babble for like 15 minutes and thinking like, am I really gonna post this? Like, first of all, this video is already like almost 20 minutes long, which is like really fucking long. But second, like, it's just hard. It's really hard. I think at some point I developed some kind of fear, because at one point I didn't really care, but now I do care, because I guess I value myself more. I don't know. But anyways, good night. Hope you enjoyed the video if you made it this far. Bye. Good night.